Good morning, everybody. Something that came to me in a dream, hard dream. I need to start writing this down. I dated a musician, and she would wake up in the middle of the night and have song ideas and would go to her phone and voice note and voice memo ideas in real time. But all my shit shut off. I need a notepad because when these things come to me, just write over, jot it down, because then I'll be laying there and we'll have this huge breakthrough that will like wake me up in a dream, or was realized in the dream. And I'm like, oh my God, I never saw it that way. Or, oh my God, what a way to break that down. Or, holy shit, I could apply that today. Or, I'm going to change that tomorrow. Or I'm like, I'm going to remember it. And I say it like 20 times. And I don't. Because I had 3 last night. This was the only one that stuck. So the difference between support and a crutch. Support and a fix, because we have a lot of people in the industry of all of medicine using the word support, hold space for. And I've said this before, and it's absolutely not even close to that. And let me break down how you can differentiate. Take, very simply, I love foot injuries. They're so clear to see, because you can see through a foot injury, you can see an autoimmune response, you can see a neurodegenerative response, you can see a relationship response, you can see an emotional response, you can see, because the body does all the things the same no matter what the injury was or no matter what it chose for that instance, but it's so clean and clear. You're walking a million times, you take a step, body decides to put force into your ankle, create damage for you to then understand. So you have what's called a rolled ankle or torn ligaments or blah, blah, blah. You might know because you would go get it tested, or you wouldn't know. You would just know, ow, it hurts. I can't walk. The body now thinks, the nervous system, brain think that walking is dangerous. Even though you've taken a million steps, it only remembers the one. So it's going to remember the one that had the damage opportunity. You also have beautiful healing responses, like what? Like swelling, inflammation, pain, bleeding. You have nausea, maybe, if it was so intense. You have the attachment of whoever you were walking with. That's going to be a negative. You have a negative around the trail you were on. You have all these memories and all these things. Perfect healing responses to make sure you don't go back to that environment as you were, because you weren't able to survive it. And body knows this, and it wants you to now make some changes. Okay. You also have a limp, a perfect limp. And so now we have opportunities. We could, because of the industry that is medicine, rehab, training, therapies, fitness, all this bullshit, you could buy a shoe to support you. No, this shoe is supportive. This orthotic is supportive. This brace around your ankle is supportive. This oil is supportive. All this stuff is supportive. How so? Put it on. And what you're able to do is go right back into the environment you were in, having changed and learned nothing other than buying a new product to support you, so that you don't have to change. You don't have to go through anything. You can keep walking on that trail. You can keep doing the activity you were doing. You can keep participating in life at the level you were, with the rules all here, but that's support. Now, shoe used as a support there, ankle brace used as support. Was it? Or was it manipulation and a crutch to get you to not change? But the word doesn't matter. Even if you believe it, your body is still going to give you the opportunity, because you didn't change anything. There are fucking rules here that you have to abide by. You broke one. Done. You didn't leave the environment that you couldn't handle. You can't digest steak, so you just bomb more steak, hoping the body, or you take acids, or you take all this other bullshit. Wait a second. Since everything is going to affect, and your digestion is just a representation of the peace and harmony you have in your life, there were a lot of things that you could have seen. Instead, you took supportive amino acids. Nah, you crutched amino acids. Now, how could we use any of that as true support? Well, you would then leave walking. You would then go through the stages of development that would get you back to convincing your brain and nervous system it doesn't have to be afraid of walking, it doesn't have to be afraid of limping. That's going to require you to lay on your back for a good portion of time, roll over for a good portion of time, crawl for a good portion of time. You're going to have to support this new lifestyle now with nourishment changes, with rest changes, with light changes, with training changes, and reducing and changing physical activities or protecting yourself within that environment. You're going to go into the deeper work, into your beliefs, value systems, into how consistent you are with things. And you're going to crawl in many areas of life, and you're going to then understand some things. And it might take months, it might take years. You're going to go back through and see what's here for you to understand, because that's why the body put the force into your ankle and created the damage in the first place. It could resist that. It could resist infinite things. Why did it give you that opportunity for that injury? Now, as you go back through those stages, you will acquire ability with this new wisdom. And as your body gains more and more ability with you understanding more about yourself and your relationships and your light and the way you've been living and all the other tricks and hacks and support that you were using, now all of a sudden it grants you upright. It grants you walking. It grants you, So now you want to walk on that trail. Would it make sense to wear a shoe as support on the trail? Absolutely. Because you could walk the trail barefoot. You're strong enough and able enough. You understand that you could now because you went through all these changes. And again, this is just metaphorical crawling and standing and walking. It's anything. You take any symptom. But I wanted to walk on the trail, but I wear shoes to now how long were you walking before in that previous life when you couldn't handle it? 2 miles. And so support in the medical rehab therapy world would be put that shoe on so you can continue to walk 2 miles. So you can continue to be who you are without understanding. When your body is screaming, there's more here. Support is going back through and understanding all of these changes and all of this that's going on in your life to see. And then once you earn and it grants you and all of it syncs up and you're able to then go, now you put on a shoe for support. Why? Because you want to walk 20 miles. That's support. Otherwise, all these things, these supplements, these oils, these herbs, these tinctures, these diets, these programs, are they supportive? Or are they just crutches so that you don't have to change? And if you're honest about all the things that we're using, all of them were in essence to bring you back to the state of being before you felt the part you didn't want to feel. So all these are just bringing you back to the version you were before that. That's not support. That's fucking straight up staying in second grade and telling the person they're like able to drive and able to not stay in second grade. But I feel like there's more outside of second grade. No. Let's keep them in the see Dick run or keep them in this remedial class with all these things so that we don't have to go through the struggle of learning, of failing, of facing ourselves. My God. Now, again, take it with anything else, any other symptom of healing, any other system that's involved, any other encounter, anything. Is it truly support? Because if somebody's vomiting, support is an arm around their shoulder. Support is not an herb or tincture to get them to not vomit. Support is not a mechanical apparatus brace that you strap onto their hoof to pin the vomit from coming out of their mouth. Ankle brace, knee brace, spine brace. Support is not completely ashamed of your symptoms and hiding it and say, oh, we're fine. And then pouring perfume on the vomit so that nobody's offended. Nobody understands. Nobody has to, there's just a bucket inside of a dress or an overcoat that you just keep vomiting and so that nobody sees it. That's not support. There's something more beautiful here. That's not supportive at all. But that's what we have under the, oh no, my light apparatus supports, my diet supports, my retreat supports, does it? Really? Because do you know who to ask? Who's the final governor in the whole thing? Who's the final gatekeeper and the keymaster and the full bit? Your body. What does your body think about all that? Is it support? Do I have supportive things around me? Absolutely. To allow me to expand forward. Now, when I'm symptomatic, there isn't there is a reduction and a simplification of everything. That's the point of symptoms. You will simplify all this stuff down to the most remedial level of crawling you've ever had to see what's here, because energy is going to, symptoms cost energy, injury costs energy. You don't have it to keep the life that you had before. And to even think that supportive or medicine is to bring you back to a version that you were before you experienced this, that's lying, or that's just and expecting something different. That's the deal. You can go do that and say, I understand what I need to change and see here, and I know the sacrifices that I could make. I don't want to. And everyone's like, that's authentic. The symptoms were the authenticity. The symptoms leading you towards that, because you're admitting that you don't want to. Yes, that is an ownership that I don't want to change, but the body's not going to stop. And it's going to keep giving you those opportunities. It's going to keep bringing you back to your truest, most authentic self, which is through the symptoms, not what you say that you're going to do or what you deny that you even don't want to go into dealing with. That's not the authenticity I'm talking about here. The authenticity is going towards those symptoms to learn more about the true nature of who you are. And if you manipulate it and get in the way at all, you will have to own that. But the body doesn't care. It's going to keep coming back, because that's all it does. It's here for you. That's the point of injuries and symptoms, for you. 100%. No exceptions. Got to own that. So the things you do in life, are they support or something else?